Okay, so here we have the Rocktile Telecaster style DIY guitar kit. I purchased this from eBay, kirstein.de. I'll put a link in the description. It arrived very quickly, and I'll say inside we have some instructions. They are very in-depth for assembly, treating and finishing and setting up the guitar in both German and English, and overall it is very well packaged with polystyrene box and bubble wrap. The body looks absolutely fantastic. The maple cap actually has a real nice grain to it. The routing is a little rough, but it's tidy and fairly serviceable. Around the edges it feels like it has been sanded and all fitted correctly. The back is a solid wood with a decent weight to it, but it's not too heavy. Overall it's quite nicely finished, very smooth to touch. There are a few scratches and a small notch here, which I'm hoping I can sand down and then colour with the finish. The neck, I'm quite impressed with it. It's very tidy. The frets are all well fitted, if a tiny bit sharp on the edges, which I will aim to roll and smooth out, so then it's a little bit nicer to play, but I can do that at the same time as profiling it. It was very smooth overall, very well sanded, and I feel that it was quite nicely contoured as well. It fits the neck pocket really well. It's got a reasonable arch to the frets that you can see there, sorry about the blur, and also it is very well straight in comparison to what I was expecting. On to componentry. First of all, the loaded pickguard. Although I thought I was getting black, it doesn't really bother me. I plan to stain the top pale blue and have the back as dark wood, so I think it'll go. The pickups have plenty of wire and appear to be solderless, which is fantastic because that saves me doing it. The pickguard itself might need a little bit of sanding, as it is a little bit rough and sharp around some of the edges, but I can do that with some fairly fine sandpaper. The rest of the components, we have a neck plate cover, which is also accompanied by a black plastic one you'll see later. The machine heads, although with Chinese, they actually felt really solid and quite nicely finished. They're all closed back, they feel quite strong and smooth, so I'll install them and see what they're like. And then if they are a bit naff, I might change them later. You get free cable, which is nice. Some free strings, which I'm not overly sure of the quality. They all appear to be very fine nickel-based ones. The bridge itself I was actually quite impressed with. I was expecting a 6-saddled sort of jobby, and what I ended up getting was a vintage 3-saddle setup, which I was quite happy with. The pickup, once again, solderless, and this is not a string-through design like I thought it was, but to be honest that's fine, I can work with that, it makes it easier for me. All the screws and bolts relevant appear to be present and correct, and the jack socket itself appears to be good. Now the tone pots and switch configuration I was very impressed with. It is pretty much assembled. The only thing I have left to do is connect it to the relevant pickups, solder in the earthing wire, and go on from there. Overall it had a very decent quality finish to it actually. The tone knobs felt nice to move. The switch itself has a satisfying sort of click and it feels quite heavy, which I like. I'm not a fan of really light, horrible switches. But overall, very impressive.